you're going to discover in this assignment is that we're going to start talking a little bit about grid structure, and I'm going to introduce one of the most basic forms of grids, which is a modular grid, and we'll talk about that in the demonstration where I showed you how to do that. But you'll kind of notice that these things are all very modular and they're very evenly spaced and so on. And so, although this one I just realized has a little bit of a different spacing. But essentially this is, it's pretty straightforward in that the student who did this put the name of the basic project, so it's regarding point line plane, and what the name of the class was. And then there's a short description. If I wanted to zoom in, you can see that there's a short description of the project, and then in addition, you can see that the student also did a final comp here and then showed the breakdown of what the forms were that were reference points. So this was the original photograph, and you can see how it's used in 2 different places, but it's one photo. And then you can also see the original comp that was used as the foundation basis for this layout. So you can see this large circle where the image is, and then there's another circle down here where the image is, and then there's a circle that's over here, it's a void, but over here it's actually got a background fill with a text color. So, and that was done using that, this white circle as a clipping mask and so on. And then the other thing that this student also chose to focus on were the iterations of the typography study. So you'll see as we go through this that different people focused on different things, so that you can get a sense that the idea is that you put your strongest foot forward and kind of discuss the things that are part of your process that you feel were the most significant. Okay, this is another example, and you can see that again it's modular, but the layout's different. And here again we've got the name, point line plane, we've got the name of the class, and then you can see in this way that this person did something a little bit different in the way that they organized this. It doesn't go all the way down to the bottom here. This description is right justified in this block area, and then you can see that they showed some of their ideation process here with the picture and how it ended up with the final comp with text and image. And again, they showed their other one over here, and they felt like these 2 things were both equally successful, so they included both of them, and they also include their typography investigation. If we take a look over here at this process board, this is an example of something a little bit different. You can see that these are like digital sketches, and then this right here is a focus on how they decided to crop stuff, right? So you can see this is sort of grayed out, right? Maybe you would end up taking a screenshot of some of this and graying out the exterior areas so that somebody could see, your process and how you develop this. And then over here we've got some different, comps where you've got the photograph and then the comp, and then here you've got the combination and how those things were applied. Okay, and then this last one is sort of, I want to show you some different alternatives using the same materials, so you could kind of think about different ways of putting stuff together. So, if you wanted to organize it in such a way that, down here you do something with your form study, and then over in this bottom corner, you could have your text and image portion, and over here you'd have your other text and image portion. Maybe you've got some other line comps here. All right, we can take a look at another layout alternative using exactly the same materials. You can see how this person got this to fit, right? And then again, you can see another example. Okay, so I just wanted you to see how this is something that is highly flexible. If you were to look at this example, this person actually decided to go back and make some literal highlights to the way that they chose to adjust their design, so that we can see how the refinement of this ended up working. Okay, and then you see the other final stuff, and then this is the final comp, right? So you get an idea of how this is supposed to kind of play itself out. Now, you are required to use in this at least one of your text plus image final compositions. All right, what you choose to show as supporting documentation is up to you. You don't have to do both of them if you don't want to, but you have to do at least one, and then you can sort of focus on other areas of interest that you thought were really strong in your process of creating that book. Okay. So that's an introduction, and I'm going to move on to the next video where I start introducing the modular grid in Illustrator.